we're here at the shoe healer in Doncaster, and a customer as Steve, I'm sure it's Steve, has been into us and said, you know, can you sort my lovely pair of RM Williams out? It's a lovely boot, lovely soft uppers. I do like these boots, they are lovely. And what he says is, when he's walking on them, it's like clogs. It's rock hard. It's solid. This sole, bang, 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 he's walking away on there. And it's just this ruddy, great big lump of solid rubber on the bottom. Solid rubber heel, solid rubber sole, and it's just uncomfortable for him. They have a really good, strong insole inside them, and you know, what can we do? Well, it's Goodyear welted, so it can have anything on it, really. It can have whatever we want, but something lighter, something softer. We've yet to come to that, but what we'll do first is we'll get there. So we've just stripped this off. Here it is, it's come off this great big solid lump of rubber. Now the only thing is, this would wear forever. But this gentleman is saying it's really hard underfoot. There's a solid rubber heel. Again, that would wear forever. That goes on there, that's riveted on there. This is the boot, the shank here, and it has a cover over the shank, a plastic cover over the shank. Now a lot of the time that can be done because they'll start to squeak and they'll start to rub against the layers of rubber. So it's not fully Goodyear welted. It's got like a tennis seat at the back just fastened on there, which we will carry on with. You see the welt here, we've got all the stitchings to pull out of there. This is the cork that's in, and the cork is quite flexible, but we will renew that anyway. So all this cork is coming out, but it's not hard and dry and brittle and solid like a lot of cork is. This cork is still quite nice. The insole, lovely, lovely insole in there, quite a tough insole, that won't help. Recork that and then decide what we're going to do. We can put a leather midsole in there and then go for the standard Dainite or the Ridgeway or the Commando or anything at all like that. Or Steve could have something a little bit, I don't know, a little bit jazzy. One of the colours that you've seen on the other videos, they just swing around to the purple there. Or we've got the orange over there. Can you just on the machine over there, there's an orange. Yes, or ultimately, come back to me. Come back to me. Paul, throw me one of those triggers there with the lightweight sole on. Ultimately, Steve could have something like this, the gum light sole. Yes, you don't get the beautiful leather heel stack in there, but when this is all trimmed off and all this edging here has gone back to natural, they will look gorgeous. And that is really light, really soft underfoot, very, very comfortable. And of course, they do other colours as well. So we will give Steve the option of that, of what he has on this RM Williams. Let me just quickly show you the strip down procedure. So pause it and come round here if you can. Just right, here we go then. This is a strip down procedure of this RM Williams with the solid rubber heel on it. So this heel just peels back like this here. It's helped by the fact that this is an old boot and a lot of this glue will have gone off, as in it's dried up. So that comes off of there, that comes off of there. We now need to get the sole off, so we're going to take the stitching. He's still there, he's still watching, good. All we've done there is we've ground the top of the stitching off, okay? It's not stitched around the back, around this tennis seat. So we've got the stitches off there we have here. Get my safety glasses on and we start to lift. And we start to peel back this sole. Can you see that coming off there? Leaving all these little pegs, stitches. These are all the stitches, the pegs. These pegs, they're really good, as in when you've worn the top off your stitches, the pegs running through the leather sole, the rubber sole, they really do help to keep the sole on. A lot of people worry that they've worn through the stitching. I mean, just looking at this here, look, a couple of mil in and we've taken the top of the stitching off, but I'm still having to work at getting this sole off this boot. So that comes back there. We've got all the stitches to get out later, back to there, and we've just got to be a little bit careful now. I'll just stab myself with this thing again, and we've just got to be a little bit careful back here that we leave the tennis seat on. What helps this job is a little bit of heat. In fact, I'm going to generate a little bit of heat on here. Okay, and that's just warmed that up. It's taken a little bit of the height out. These here are little metal pins. They're actually from an autosolar. It is a machine that has a big roll of wire on it with like a thread on it, and you set it to the length you want, and you lift the shoe up onto it, and it shoots in and cuts off a length of wire like a nail, but it doesn't have a head on it and it doesn't have a point on it. Called an autosolar. Now look at that, that's coming off beautiful there, because we've just generated a bit of heat into that rubber sole, and there we go, the sole is off. Very, very satisfying, this job, when it all runs nicely like this. These are the little bits of, look at that, look, there's no point on it, it's just a bit of wire, and it's got a serrated, not really, you don't see them as serrated as that, but they've like a little thread on it to help them stick in, and because it has no, like I say, no point, no head on it, but the serrated edges to these little nails, not nails, autosole. Anyway, that's that there. So now we'll get the cork out. The cork, look, it wants to come out. We'll recork it, take all the stitches out, and then we're at the point of deciding what we're going to put on it. So a midsole, and then whatever sole our customer wants. I'm looking round for my little bradawl, because now we've got the lovely job of just going round, pulling all the stitches out, carefully removing all the stitches, so that when we stitch, we can stitch back through the same holes. And yeah, what a lovely boot, a really nice boot. Pile of shoes here, all waiting to go in and be stitched. All different sorts of sole units on them. We spoke to Steve, and he's gone for the brown Ridgeway on there. You know, it had that really thick sole on it, and so we put a nice midsole in to keep the stoutness there, because it had that thick sole. Didn't need a midsole because that sole was really thick, quite clumpy. So now it's got the midsole in, and it's got the softer Ridgeway. These are now just waiting for Paul to go and stitch them. This is a stitch track round here. It'll all be stitched. He's pre-machined this off. You wouldn't really want to stitch all round here. In fact, is it a stitched? No, it's not. It's a tennis seat on that. So he'll only be stitching down here, just back to here. On other shoes that are stitched all the way around, you wouldn't want to stitch all the way around and then machine this for the heel stack to be bonded on. And then you would take the top off the stitching. So he's pre-machined that. The Ridgeway heel will be going on. He will machine this down a little bit, put the heel stack in, and these will be all stitched together. This is the welt there. Look, all the stitching is removed, so our machine will nicely drop into these holes around here, and it just keeps that welt going and going and going. So yeah, lovely boot, all there, just coming through the stages, as all these shoes here are. We have to go through the section of just letting the customer know. Now, be careful what soles you pick. Sometimes we can encourage customers, have an orange, have a red, have a blue, and oh yeah, great, lovely. This gentleman says, I've got those shoes at home and boots, and I don't particularly wear them anymore. It was a great idea at the time, but now I look at them and I think, they're a little bit in your face. And that is something you have to think about. You know, it's middle of summer, bright coloured soles and everything, brilliant. And then, you know, later on you think, well, maybe I look a bit of a bugger in those. So be careful what sole units you pick. So this is done, stitched on there. Paul, just give me a second before you run off. You've got some marks on the side of this here. What are these about then?
Well, you can see where your stitch is, so you can see the styles of the stitch.
Yeah.
But obviously the finish here, your original holes. Right. And I need to go further back into the seat piece where the heel stack goes, under it. So I gauge the marks, the same size as the stitches. So I know when I start from here, I'm going to drop into the original holes.
Right. And you have done, haven't you? Hey, that is beautiful.
You know my secrets today.
Absolutely stunning. Right, okay, so we'll see you stitch this one on then, right? Let's go.
As you can see, the holes end there.
Yep.
So I gauge the size of the stitches down, so I can start here, and then it will drop into the original holes. And then obviously my stitch size. Come on, baby.
Getting some wheel spin. Great machine. Just run through, if you can, just real slowly, the process of, if I can keep the camera still, of it. So this part here is your table. This is your Scotch edge that is adjustable in and out, so that for a deeper welt, and that's your foot, lifter foot here. Oh, that's it, look, so just run through a stitch. So, down she goes, Paul comes up, there, Paul comes up, makes a hole. Needle comes down, the looper is starting to move there, loops around the needle, you missed it. It's because it's not in a shoe, it's not in there, that's it, and that's what it would do, and it would pull it up like that, and then the lifter here comes up and lifts the thread off of the needle onto the horn, and then the shuttle takes it round and we form a stitch. Yeah, wow. Yay. Heel stacks going on these RM Williams. So you'll give them how many coats of glue?
3. Well, the stack, the boot's only 1 because it's rubber.
Yeah, it doesn't soak in, but does everybody glue them?
Well, I think they do, but it depends how much glue they put on, because sometimes they can just pop them off with you quite easily.
Yeah, they just get like a blade under them, don't they?
Yeah.
Does that happen when yours come back?
I don't like mine coming back, I can't get them off.
No. No. Right, okay then, so you're going to have a couple of coats of glue on there, and then
put them on, press them, and then we'll nail them on.
Right, okay, we'll come back and... Oh, he's here with his heels. Machine them down. Machine them down. Because they come Where's one you didn't do earlier?
With a block.
That's it there, look, one he didn't do earlier, and that's machined down so that you get the full leather heel stack. Heel stack's on, these are getting solution. Paul's checked all the level on them, haven't you? Yeah, at least one of them. And they'll get jammed up. How many coats of glue? 3. Any rivets in these?
No,
don't need them. Don't need them. Absolutely.
The guys are nailed on, so that's about all we need.
Yeah, lovely, lovely. So then we'll have pictures of the finished result. It's just on here and the usual machine them round, and away we go. Here's one Paul's done earlier. What a nice repair that is. Lovely stitching. Have a look at that stitching. Heel stack. Yeah, they feel like they're ready for the last whiz round on here. Trimmed up. Just something we do every day here at the shoe healer. Okay, the RMs are here, just waiting for their last finish and stain up, and then a polish up. Can't wait for that to happen. This has been a long video, been going on forever. Just masking the sides up, and then we can really get this onto the brushes and get some clear wax on there to seal them down. We've machined all the edges up. It's gone together lovely. This is the last, well, it's not the last process. The last process will be giving the uppers a nice polish up. Okay, and then we're over here. Clear wax. This is Yankee wax. And that will just seal the edges. This feels rough and raw. This feels beautiful and smooth. The wax has got into the edges there. We don't want the wax in the upper because it just takes a lot of getting out again. So yeah, we'll get that process done, and then a nice hand polish, and yeah, and get some pictures done of them.